Good morning, everybody. Welcome in this webinar, a co-initiative between Novutech, representing Netsuite, and Isabel Group. So I'm very happy we have more than 50 people registered, actually. So there's quite some interest on this topic. And before starting and going into the subject, I would like to welcome our friends, our colleagues from Novutech, representing Netsuite. So Maxime, Thomas from Solar Screen International, a customer of Netsuite, who will bring a short testimonial about their experience using Netsuite and the integration with Isabel. Welcome to both of you. Before starting the webinar, some practical details. We'll hopefully end in about 45 minutes, keep it short. If you have any technical problem, you can use a chat button, which you can find. What we will cover today is a short introduction about Isabel Group. But of course, the most important topic is the presentation about the integration between Isabel 6 and NetSuite ERP that is brought by Novutech. And as I said before, we will leave some time for questions and answers at the end of the session. So just a short introduction about Isabel Group. Most of you here know Isabel by the payments solution, Isabel 6, that exists now since 26 years, actually this year. We're celebrating our 26th anniversary. However, Isabel Group has grown a lot past years and now active in more domains than just payments. We are also active in digital identities. Like, for example, we have a solution for digital signatures, which sign here. We're also active in documents like electronic invoicing, electronic credit card statements. Think about Zoomit, think about Voila, think about Caro. So with all these solutions, our main objective is to remove the hassle from all kinds of administrative processes in the organization. So that means that we build and operate actually on trusted software as a service ecosystems with our brands that you see here, Isabel 6, Ponto mainly in the domain of finance, Sign Here and Trulius in the domain of digital identity, and Codabox, Zoomit, Clearfacts and Bookmate in the domain of electronic documents. But all this we do more and more with partners who are bringing the real solution to the customer with us. And the best example is today, of course, the webinar we are organizing with Novutech. With that, actually, Isabel Group is the biggest, largest fintech in Belgium. We do more than 400 million transactions. Yeah, we have 105,000 business-to-business users, which makes us the biggest B2B IT supplier actually in Belgium after Microsoft. We have 1.6 million people using Zoomit for e-invoicing. We have 35 directly connected banks through Codabox Isabel 6 and more than 200 indirectly connected banks and more than 600 on the European level through Ponto. And we do an annual review about now a little bit more than 70 million euro. So this ends my introduction, and I would now like to leave the word to Maxime, who will enter into the topic of the integration between NetSuite and Isabel 6. Maxime, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Patrick. I will share my screen and start the presentation. So yeah, first of all, thank you, Patrick, and of course, thank you to the Isabel Group for giving us the opportunity to present our app today. Before we start really talking about the app, and of course talking with Thomas Mueller, who is here in the call with us as a CFO of SolarScreen, one of our customer and one of NetSuite customer. I wanted to give a first overview introduction about NetSuite, because probably some people within the call are not familiar with NetSuite, or at least are interested in NetSuite. So I think it makes sense to start with that. Of course, I will present a bit Novutech and who we are, what we do, and why we are here today. Then we will move on to the Connect to Bank demo solution overview, where I will show some screens in NetSuite, and you will be able to see what our app is doing and the way we help customers using NetSuite and Isabel today. And finally, we'll have a discussion with Thomas Mueller, the CFO of SolarScreen, for which we have done the implementation of NetSuite, and who is also a Isabel and NetSuite user. So first of all, I guess let's start with NetSuite. That's the reason why we are here today. NetSuite is a cloud ERP system. It's basically, it has been the first 100% cloud ERP system in the world, created in 1998. We have heard a lot about NetSuite in the past year because it has been acquired by Oracle in 2016. And I guess this has been the case thanks to their, let's say, scalable success. So we have seen that NetSuite has really grown into the last years. Today, NetSuite is serving more than 24,000 customers worldwide. I think that's already a good number. And one of the key, let's say, things of NetSuite, of course, is that they all run on the same platform. So it's really 24,000 customers that are running on the same version of the product, and I think that makes it quite unique. NetSuite is today supporting really different type of customers, some emerging companies to really more of the largest global enterprise in the world. I guess one of the big number of the year of last year was that more than, I think, 35% of the IPOs of last year were run from companies running in NetSuite. So I guess that's a significant number in KPI for NetSuite, showing that let's say fast-growing companies really trust NetSuite as a financial management platform, and it's really a success for NetSuite. Like I said, we see also quite a big improvement in the platform. We see a lot of new features, and we see a lot of new customers. So in 2019, we had so NetSuite had more than 4,500 new customers, which is also a significant number. One of the question we get, of course, often from customers or from potential leads or prospect is what makes, let's say, NetSuite unique, and why would they go for NetSuite versus another ERP system? I think there are many reasons for that. One of them is the simplicity, I guess, for customers in terms of architecture to maintain, because it's 100% cloud system. So it means as of the moment you sign with NetSuite, you don't have to worry about the architecture that's behind it, and NetSuite is maintaining that for you, which is of course one of the big added value. I would say a second big added value will be the flexibility and the fact that you can easily customize your NetSuite instance. Of course, you can rely on partners like Novutech, but I guess it's really a platform that's easily customizable by the customer as well. And you will see that later on when I jump into NetSuite, that in terms of dashboarding, roles, permission, and so on, that's something that you can do quite easily. Of course, the real-time visibility, it's all in the same platform. You have access everywhere from anywhere, and I guess the real-time visibility is something that's well appreciated by our customers. And I would say finally, the integration capabilities of NetSuite are really high, and we see a lot of customers using NetSuite, but also using other systems for other type of of applications. So let's say we have customers using a specific expense management tool, and of course they want to integrate that with NetSuite. That is really happening, and we see that the APIs available from NetSuite are really powerful and easy to integrate. So if we look at the right side of the slide, we see I guess something that's well representing NetSuite. It's really a multi-language, a multi-currency, a multi-subsidiary platform, a multi-country as well. So you can, of course, run your business in different tax jurisdictions, countries, and maintain all of that thanks to NetSuite. And then, of course, it's an ERP system. Let's say the main thing will be, of course, the financials, the accounting, but next to that, you also have capabilities in terms of CRM, of e-commerce, of HR, and then you have also what we have here, BFN, which is the build for NetSuite, which is basically a whole set of applications that are linked to NetSuite, integrated in the platform, and that gives added value to the customer. And I guess that's the reason why we are here today, because we will present you our app. So I think it's always useful to see a bit the system. So now that I've presented in a few slides, you can see here that I'm connected in one of our demo account in NetSuite. So I guess what's really nice with NetSuite is that, yeah, like I said, it's a 100% cloud system. You can access it everywhere. So I'm just connected online. I can get to my NetSuite account. One of the main functionalities of NetSuite as well is that it's role-based. So meaning you can really customize each and every single role of your application so that every person in the company can have his own feeling about NetSuite and in his own functionality. So as you can see on the top right, I would be now connected as a financial controller and have access to some KPIs. I would be able to switch now to a senior executive profiles, sales profiles, whatever. I think that's really a big added value, because it means that with the same platform, you can have different access and different visibility for the different people in your company. One of the nice features of NetSuite, of course, because it's an online tool, is that you can basically stay online and just access different data at the same time. So just by opening a few tabs, like I just did, you can access the sales order you should be invoicing, the purchase order that you should bill, and you can see that how easily you can just access the data in one click. One big functionality or big added value that we have in NetSuite is the ability to drill down. I think so to really be able, from your KPIs and from your dashboard as a user, to drill down to the real detail transaction that you would like to see. So if I would just, for example, here look at my KPIs and see my payables, I would be able to go into my payables, see an AP aging summary, and from my AP aging summary, go to a specific amount for specific periods, get to my detail, and then you could even go to the invoice layout in level, sorry, in this scenario. So I think all of that, the fact that it's all real time, that you have drill down functionality, like I said earlier, it's easily customizable, and you can do that yourself as a NetSuite user. So you can easily add some portlet, some calendar, some KPI into your dashboard, and you see that you can customize that yourself. So I think that that's also quite a big asset from NetSuite, is that you as a user also have. Of course, you need the help of some experts, but you can also do a lot of stuff yourselves. So I guess that was quickly about NetSuite and what it is. Of course, I will quickly present myself and Novutech. So why we are here today? We are here today because Novutech is a partner of NetSuite. So we are working together with NetSuite in Belgium to help customers moving to the platform. I think, let's say, the fact that we are specialized in NetSuite is really specific to Novutech. So we only work with NetSuite, and we are only specializing in NetSuite. We have, let's say, good experience in terms of implementation, optimization. Within our team, we have really people that are on the functional side of it and technical side of it, which makes it powerful and useful for customers, because of course, We need functional people to help customers implementing it right. We also need technical people to go the extra mile and use the integration capabilities, for example, or the scripting capabilities of the platform to go further. One of the key messages that I want to bring regarding Novutech today is that we really want to work in full transparency. So we are, let's say, committed to work really in full transparency with our customers, meaning that of course, we want to work with you. Of course, we want to help selling NetSuite, but we want to be transparent and we want always the best for the customer. So we will not go into scripting if we don't believe that it's a good option. We will always push for the out-of-the-box implementation because we believe that NetSuite is well done enough so that most of the customer can adapt and to the system, to the system. We, like I said, we have experience within the team. We are a team of 12 people today. We are certified, meaning that, as I said, we are completely focused on NetSuite and we have certification. And I guess, one of the main things of Novutech is that we really enjoy and we love what we do. And I guess that we try to make that feel to our customers. Like I said, we have 12 people within the team today. We have been created in 2019, so almost 2 years from now. And since then, we have been able to help 22 customers already, most of them in Belgium, France, Luxembourg, but we also have some customers across the world. And like I said, we worked with customers for new implementation, but we also work with customers that are existing NetSuite customers and that are expecting some optimization in their system. So that's a bit the idea of Novutech. Of course, by doing implementation, by doing optimization type of project, while we have discovered a few enhancements that would be nice, and one of them was around banking. So of course, knowing Isabel in Belgium, we have decided to get in touch with Isabel, and we have decided to really start working on a solution. So basically what we have experienced in the past is that most of our customers, most of the customers we have in Belgium are using Isabel. And they always had a gap between what was in Isabel and what was in NetSuite. There was always some manual work to be done. There was always some reconciliation to be done, and we saw really an opportunity for Novutech to build something together with Isabel, so that NetSuite customers could rely on NetSuite and on Isabel data at the same time. So what the app is basically doing is that it's automatically importing your bank statement data. In the slide here, we present overnight, but that's up to the user to define what's the frequency they would like to have data in their account. But I guess that's the main functionality, is that as a user, you don't have to worry about exporting data from Isabel, importing it back to NetSuite. Don't have to worry about the format that you're using in NetSuite to import your statement. You don't have to worry about the format that you export from Isabel. We work with Coda, we work with MT940, with CAMT53. So the formats that are available in Isabel are then accepted by our app to be pushed to NetSuite. So that's, I guess, the main feature. The first feature is really the import in an automated way. Of course, the fact that we automatically import the data means that we have the data available in the system. So the second functionality is that we have account information and bank balances in real time in NetSuite, meaning as a treasury manager, as a CFO, you can log into your NetSuite account and you can see your bank balances in real time. Don't have to go to Isabel or to your phone to look at that. You can really see that in your dashboard as I've just showed it. The fact that we have the bank balances and bank data, of course, means that we can also go a bit further in terms of cash flow reporting. And we don't have to do cash flow reporting based on actual bank reconciliation data, but really on bank data itself. And that's quite powerful. Then Of course, we have another, let's say, side of the app, and the other side is the payment side. And of course, we have customers using NetSuite and the electronic bank payments bundle to generate payment files and payment batches. What the app is able to do with Isabel is that you're able to send your payment files directly to Isabel for signature. Again, this is probably helping you not having to do manual intervention. You don't have to export, import. You know directly that once your file is sent from NetSuite, it goes to Isabel for signature to the right person. It also means that the NetSuite user doesn't have to be the guy that is basically going to sign it in Isabel. So it makes also easier for bigger type of company to have people responsible for signature and people responsible for payment batch creation. And then last but not least, the app that we have developed is able to integrate with NetSuite, of course. So we are able to push the data into NetSuite directly, meaning that we can push the data into the bank reconciliation tool of NetSuite, but as well as with other tools. I mentioned here in the slide Fast4 because this is a partner in the Netherlands that we work with. Fast4 has developed a bank reconciliation engine tool within NetSuite, and of course we know that customers are also using such apps, and so our app is also able to connect and integrate with that app. We work with, of course, the idea of today is that we discuss with you about Isabel Group. I mentioned Isabel Group as a group really because we both work with Isabel Connect and with Ponto. Isabel Connect, I guess, is more known and is really the historical, let's say, Isabel product. Ponto is an PSD2 player that is now part of the Isabel group. And of course, we also work with Ponto because it gives us ability to go for, let's say, a broader type of banks, for example. So we increase the coverage. And we also have different type of formats available with Ponto. So I guess PSD2 is going to, let's say, improve in the future and makes it even bigger for Ponto to have a lot of different banks available. That brings us to the bank coverage, of course. So the idea that we have with our app is that we connect with Isabel, we connect with Ponto, meaning that today we have quite a big coverage in terms of banking of banks in Europe, as you can see in this slide. Our idea is not to stop in here as well. So we are working with Isabel and Ponto for Europe today. We are discussing with partners in other parts of the world so that we can also really make this app available for each customer in the world. So before we go to the testimonial, or at least the interview of our friend from SolarScreen, I would like to switch back to my NetSuite account, because I guess that's what is important today. So if I would just switch to one of our Connect to Bank Isabel accounts, you will see that I'm getting to a dashboard where as a Connect to Bank Isabel user, I have all the data and all the information that I just explained. So first of all, you see that we have real-time data about Isabel account. So in just one view in your dashboard, you have the ability to see your bank balances in real time from Isabel or from Ponto. We have some KPIs. So like I said, the fact that we have real bank data in real time means that we can do cash flow, let's say, immediately, and that we don't really need to rely on the fact that it's reconciled or not. So that gives us, of course, the ability to have some KPIs and a nice dashboard. And then we see the list of Isabel bank accounts. For example, here you would see your GLs from NetSuite, your IBAN coming from Isabel, and then the balances you have in NetSuite, and these are the balances that you would have in Isabel, being giving you the ability as a user to directly see where you are in terms of bank reconciliation, and of course go to reconcile it. Again, whether you use NetSuite standard or you use another app, I think that doesn't really matter. As long as the data is in there, you can use it to reconcile it. One of the feature, of course, and I guess one of the important feature is the fact that it's not easy it's not difficult, sorry, for a user to connect a bank account. So if I just would go to a connect new Isabel accounts, I mean, the setup itself, once we have done the setup of the app as a user, you can easily do it yourself. So meaning you have here the list of Isabel accounts available. You have just the ability to pick which GL account you would like to link your Isabel accounts to. You will have the reconciliation type. So again, as I just mentioned, you will be able to pick the standard of NetSuite or Fast4 in this scenario. And you will just click the connect and finish, and that's it. Basically, your bank accounts will be synced, and as of the next day or the frequency that you have defined, you will have the bank statement available in NetSuite. If I would just go to one bank account or Isabel bank account in NetSuite, you see that we keep whole history, which is also important. So because we are connected to Isabel, we have all the history available in NetSuite as well. So you can see that we have all the statements from the past in here. As I mentioned earlier, we have different type of formats available, but that's also a good point because it means we have the balance history. So at any point in time in NetSuite, you will be able to get back easily to the balance history of each bank account. And because we store that in each of the Isabel bank accounts, you can use that in any of your reporting or safe search or financial reporting. If I go back to the dashboard itself, I think one of the main features as well, as I mentioned earlier, is the payment log. So you can see here as a user a quick overview of the payment batches that you have created and generated out of NetSuite, the payment ID, whether or not you have sent them to Isabel, at which date, and then what's the status. So that's also a good indication for a user in NetSuite to say, okay, there has something went wrong in here because I was not able to see it signed. So I will just get in touch with my people. And I will just switch to a payment batch in NetSuite. I think it's quite straightforward. Huh? So if you would have created your payment batch for, in this case, Isabel and Proximus, you see that whenever your file is generated, you have that button send payment to Isabel. So what that does, basically, just sends the file to the Isabel platform and makes it available for the next user or the user in Isabel for signature. Now that it has been transferred to Isabel, you can also see the status, like I said, and you can see a data stamp that allows you to, of course, reconcile and make sure that everything has been done. So that's a bit about the app. Again, like I said, we work with Isabel. You can see on top that we also work with Ponto. So thanks to that, we can, I guess, increase the coverage of the bank. So I will switch back to my presentation. I would like to introduce Thomas Mueller, who is here in the call.
Good morning.
So Thomas, I will give you the word on your company, of course.
Thank you. So my name is Thomas. I am the CFO of the company SolarScreen. SolarScreen is a European leader of smart film solution. What is a smart film? We have 3 products in 7 family. So 3 products are window films, we have adhesive decorative films, and we have blinds. About window films, we have window film for solar control. For example, if you want to avoid lights to come in your office, or if you want to make economy on your climatization, for example, you can use our films on the window. We also have safety films. It's to avoid window to be broken, and it's less dangerous for children, for example, if the window is not broken. We have automotive films, of course, for cars. If you want to have much more beautiful cars, we can change color of the windows. We have also printing films. It's films we can print your logo, for example, and put it on the different window of your office. We have design film with different colors of logos, image, etc., etc. We also produce in France blinds, but only tailored blinds, not the blinds you will find in all shops, but only for professional purposes and produce on demand only. And we have Cover Style. Cover Style is our new product, is adhesive decorative films. We have around 2 two conduits, different colors, like wood, like marbles, like iron, different color. We have a lot of difference. And this is our product we are selling actually. Can change the slide, Maxine. Thank you very much. Here are some of our realization. So, for example, the Malaga airport is a very good example of films for solar control, because as you know, in airports it's always complicated to manage the heat, and we have been able to install our film on this airport. For example, the Obo Hotel, we have been able to install design film, just decorative one, but very important for the hotel as well. Marriott Hotel as well, it's for cover style. So we have been able for cover style to cover the door, for example, or existing furniture. So instead of removing the existing furniture, we can just recover them for the wall as well. And it's cheaper for the hotel, and the hotel does not need to close the room for 1 day or 2 days to be repainting. We can just cover it, the existing, and we start the morning, we finish at the end of the day, and the hotel does not lose any nights. You can go to the next one, Maxime. Thank you. Solar Screen exists since 35 years. For my side, I am only part of Solar Screen since 5 years. We have 80 employees and a turnover around 30 million. We are mainly reseller, so we sell our products to professional. We will install products on the final customer. So we are not, except in Luxembourg where we are located, or where we install our product. In all other European countries and worldwide countries, we are mainly reseller. So we have a physical presence in 5 different countries in Europe, but of course we sell in all these countries. We have more than 30 suppliers, so our added value is to select the best product and the best supplier all over the world, but of course mainly in Asia, not in China, but much more in South Korea, India, USA, and of course Europe. So we have more than 1,000 referents in 7 families. We talk about it. So our customer is represented by more than 4,000 companies in 15 different countries. So we can say that we sell goods to Australia, to New Zealand. This is a much far company that we have. Most of our orders, so 98% of our orders of the D-Day are shipped the same day. So all the orders that we received before 3 p.m. are shipped the same day. This is really our strength. We have new office now since 2 years, new office in Luxembourg, and we have 39,000 rolls in stock. So it's rolls of 1.5 meters and long of 30 meters. And then the installer cut the films or the decorative adhesive films with the size he needs directly in the customer place. So we have as well 85,000 rolls in stock, and we sold more than 3.5 million of square meters per year. I just share with you our DNA. What is our DNA is that we consider our customer as unique. So we make all that we can to have the best service we can give to a customer. So same contact to a specific customer in the customer language as well. And of course, we have a dynamic, fun, and human. The needs of the customer is simply to be delivered And this is our daily commitment. So we ensure to have all the stock available without minimum quantity at a competitive price. And of course, we try to reduce our CO2 footprint. Your growth, our drive is we want, and this is our objective, to keep our customer. And so we make the necessary to help our customer to grow, because we will grow if our customer grows. So we invest for our customer. We train our customer as well. So we have in-house training to learn to our customer to improve themselves in the installation of our product. Thank you. Here is a quick presentation of SolarScreen.
Thank you, Thomas. So I have, of course, a few questions for you. So what are your, I didn't know that you are live with NetSuite since January. What are your first impression of NetSuite, maybe for people listening?
In fact, why we have been, of course, we have been impressed by NetSuite, but why? It's because we are working for the digitalization of the company since 2 years now, and our actual system, our previous system, does not allow us to make so many analyses. So we had to follow a lot of separate Excel sheets, and at the end, each department maintain several files out of the system. It was completely a mess, a risk of loss of data, and that's why we have been impressed, because the tool is very powerful and is able to automatize a lot of process and calculation, and to replace a lot of Excel sheets we had to manage in the past separately. So after the first presentation we have of NetSuite from Novutech in the mid 2020, we already imagine all the process we will be able to improve, all the report we will be able to set up, and of course all the Excel sheet we can avoid to maintain or create separately from the system. So all data in the same system was a dream for us, and definitely it is fantastic to use NetSuite since the first beginning of January.
Okay, well, it's a difficult question for me to ask, but yeah, how did it go? I mean, how did we help you implementing NetSuite?
Definitely, Novutech was absolutely necessary to implement NetSuite. It's definitely something. Of course, we are unable to make the initial setup of NetSuite ourselves. We need someone to set up NetSuite, and everything went well. Definitely with Novutech, you are a great partner. You help us to select NetSuite as the best tool for us. We start working mid 2020 together, and we start to work in the sandbox in the beginning of September together. So it's a significant investment for the management team, because we need to describe all the process, to write all the process for you to understand all that we need, and we have access to the production environment end of December, and we have been able to start to work directly the 4th of January. So we do not stop at all to work, and we have been able to switch from the old system to the new one without stopping our delivery for even one day. So definitely implementation went well.
Okay, good to hear. If we maybe switch to the banking side of it, of course, that's the interest. How many bank accounts or how many different banks are you using in Europe?
We have 11 accounts, all connected to Isabel, in 7 countries, and 3 currencies, so USD, GBP, and of course Euro, and all was connected already to Isabel before we start to work with NetSuite.
And what was the bank statement format that you were using, and more importantly, how are you handling those bank statements in your previous accounting package?
Okay. Before I start to work with NetSuite, I did not know anything about the different format of bank files. So I just print in my previous system. I had to print every day the bank statement of the day before, so which are available in Isabel. We print it, book it line by line in our former system, and then sort this printed document in a specific folder. So at the end of the year, we had around 10 folder for the bank of the year.
Okay, and I guess next question is, how is it going today?
So now I know what is a MT940. So we manage MT940. So we have to sign a contract with our bank to manage the relationship with Isabel, to asking our bank to send that Isabel sends the MT940 to NetSuite. So it's just a document to sign, and then all documents appear directly in NetSuite without any manipulation from our side.
I guess that was it on our side, Patrick. So I hope it was clear, not too fast, not too long. I guess if you have any question, please go ahead. You will get the recording of the video as well, and we are happy to share more about the app itself if needed.
Thank you. Do you hear me well?
Yes.
Yes. I had a question in the chat. Maybe that's for Johan. What is the cost of the connection from the Isabel side? I guess it's about Isabel Connect and Ponto. Maybe Johan, you can explain a little bit.
Oh, yes. So for the Isabel Connect part, Isabel Connect is an extra module on the Isabel 6 environment. So it's like an extension of the current contract. The prices are communicated on the Isabel 6 website. So for any user and even for the public, they can take notice of that. In short, it's 20 euros a month. And that includes the account information for 20 bank accounts and 1,000 payment transactions that can be initiated through the system. And for any extra use, there is a scheduled price for any of those, and it's being very well explained in the PDF available on isabel.eu. Now for the Ponto part, it's an even easier approach. Ponto, you can find all the information on myponto.com, where we have a section called pricing, and in that section pricing, it's mentioned that an account costs 4 euros a month per account, and any payment is an extra for that account of 1 euro per month and 3 cents per transaction. So that's in a nutshell, but all the prices are available either on isabel.eu for the Isabel Connect part, or on myponto.com for the Ponto pricing.
Okay, I had another question. There's two solutions, Isabel Connect and Ponto. Can you download Coda account statements using Ponto?
Oh, well, unfortunately not. Ponto is based on the PSD2 legislation. So there the directive does not foresee a reporting of account information in a report format, so in Coda, COMT, or MT. However, all the account information data is available in a data format. So instead of having it in one file, you get a number of records, and those records are then important into the system, like the NetSuite system as presented by Novutech, where they have all that account information clearly in the designed fields for that, so that the information is available also. It's a bit different, it's a bit more modern, and it is maybe more convenient if it's appropriate for the use that you want to make of it.
Okay. Yes, I also received a question. That's for me, I guess. Can we receive the presentation afterwards? Yes, you will receive a recording of this webinar if all went well. And if it's not the recording, it will be the PowerPoint, the slides. So you will receive a mail with all information you need. You see now on your screen also. I see if there's still one question coming in. So the flow looks like connect all your banks across the globe to Isabel. Well, connect all your banks in the SEPA zone to Isabel, so in Europe. Connect Isabel to NetSuite. Bank statement imports are then done automatically, and the payment files can be initiated from within NetSuite, and no login to the actual bank website is necessary. Yes, bank statements are imported automatically, so CODA files if you want for Belgium. Payment files can be initiated from within NetSuite, and no login to the bank website is necessary. I refer then maybe to Maxime for an answer to that question.
No, that's correct. Well, the first part of the question is, of course, to be discussed in more detail and see what is really the banks that you're using as a user. But that's correct. So assuming that all the banks that you're using are available within the Isabel platform, indeed it makes sense to use Isabel, because then you have one platform called Isabel where you have all your banks, let's say, grouped and aggregated. And then with the app that we have in NetSuite, you don't have to log into your bank account specific portal. You only have one login in Isabel for signature, and you have one login in NetSuite for your bank statement to be there automatically.
Okay.
So happy to discuss that in detail if needed.
And the second question is also for you. Who does the integration from Isabel Connect to NetSuite? Maxime, I think you can answer that one.
Well, the who, I guess, is us, is the app. The app itself does it. So basically what's behind the app is really the connectivity between Isabel and NetSuite.
Yes.
So what our app is doing is really connecting on one side Isabel accounts to the GL accounts into NetSuite. So Novutech and the Connect to Bank bundle is responsible for that.
Perfect. Maybe one for Johan. Could you tell me if the bank statements are uploaded once a day at the end of the day or multiple times per day? Johan.
Yes. In fact, that's an agreement that you can make with your integrator on how many times per day the update is being triggered. So in fact, if we are talking about reports, so banks produce reports with the account information, then of course it's important to do that at the end of the day when the bank has produced its report and being available. For that purpose, in most integrations, the integrator starts pulling those reports somewhere in the night. When banks are ready and have transmitted those reports to Isabel. Of course, it can be that there is an updated report available over day. So also at that moment, a new trigger can be initiated. It's more if working with the transactions, which is also a possibility with the integration of Isabel Connect and certainly also with Ponto, that you trigger that during the day. And yeah, it's all a matter of, okay, does it make sense to have it updated a couple of times per day to, yeah, there are no limitations. In fact, you can trigger it as much as you want, but yeah, it must make sense.
And maybe to add on our side and on the NetSuite side, you also have the ability to let's say to pick the frequency. So if you want to have your bank statement on the daily basis versus on a weekly basis, you can do that. We don't really often recommend customers to go let's say more than once a day, because of course if you talk about Coda, they only get available at the every day for the day before.
At the end of the day.
What we also have with the app is that we're able to get the balances, and that's let's say real time. So for the balances, if you use Isabel Connect, we can get them on a daily basis. If you talk about Ponto, it's really one click and you're able to get the balances in real time in your NetSuite account. So I think we need to make the difference between balance and statement, but indeed we have quite some flexibility in there.
Okay, I think we are a little bit over 45 minutes, but it was very interesting. I see no more questions, so I would like to thank everybody. I thank the Johan, thank Maxime, thank Solar International, but also the audience, people attending this webinar. You were very many of you. So we hope to see you back in the next webinar. You will receive a mail with our contact details and where you can, of course, ask some more questions or contact us via email. Thank you very much, and hopefully we can see you next time. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all.